What is your best, and so we never did that again story? We don't throw things into the ceiling fan anymore. It started with poker chips and jumped to cutlery way too quickly. Until I woke up in the middle of the night when my Molotov cocktail had to work its way out the other end. Needless to say, the next 12 hours dealing with those effects were far worse than the stomach bug. I also smelled like garlic for about 6 days. Masturbating with headphones in with my back facing the door. It's like you wanted to get caught. Rented a mechanical bull for a stampede party, Calgary, Alberta. Couldn't put it in the yard because it wasn't completely flat, so we set it up on the parking pad. First dude riding it got thrown off. Missed the pads and flew into the alley, landing on the concrete gravel and grazing pretty much everything. Calgary, the Houston of Canada. I used to have a 93 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra I got when I was 20 and my grandmother passed away. One day my friend and I were cruising around, and we stopped in this parking lot and decided to try doing reverse donuts. Since it was a front wheel drive, it's worth pointing out I'm 6'3" and my friend is 5'6" or 7. I put the car in reverse, cut the wheel and punch it. We're on a slight slope. The car whips around quickly, and then just starts shuddering sideways and leaning really hard. I look over, and look up at my friend, as his side of the car is way higher than mine now. We just stare into each other's eyes for a brief few seconds that feel like eternity. Mouths open silently in terror as I let off the gas and the car stops shuddering sideways and rights itself. I can't remember specifically what was said, but it was something along the lines of, well, that was terrifying. A friend of mine and I were detonating homemade explosives for shits and giggles in a field way north of the town of where we lived. It was all pipe bombs. We had fun blowing up random shit and examining the shrapnel and remains. Someone abandoned an entire Barbie playset in a house my friend was renting and we shot it up with pellet guns and blew it up. We called it Beirut Barbie. On time right after we were finished we had to climb this tall hill to get back to our car, and right at the top of that hill was a police cruiser with just one cop inside. He has this confused look on his face and asked, "Did you guys hear a loud explosion?" No. Okay. And he left. And my friend and I figured that was our good luck all used up. We never did it again. Set treadmill speed to max, then jump on it. We once tried to carry the fire that was burning in the downstairs fireplace to the main floor fireplace in a large cardboard box. We got it halfway up the stairs before the alarms went off. We did manage to make it look like someone was trying to smoke ribs in the fireplace before campus safety got there. But we didn't ever try moving the fire again. Edit. Details. We lived in a house, huge mansion owned by the college, on campus, and one of the running jokes in the house was that it cannot be burned down due to the college intentionally making this house fireproof, since we, Alan way before my time, actually did start a rather large fire in the old house. Lots of accidental experimentation led to a really cavalier attitude toward fire safety. Rode a bike in the city while on acid with a friend. Most of the way it was fine, I'm pretty sure. What I do remember is this. I got to a stoplight and forgot to unclip. Fell over. In the middle of a moderately trafficked road. I then had 0 feet to help me stand up. And my legs couldn't remember the lift twist pull action that requires an unclipping from the pedals. So I was laying in the middle of the road doing what looks like trying to pedal a bike sideways. Somehow I survived. And nobody called the cops about a dude literally tripping on a bike. So we never did acid and rode bikes again. I once biked right into a lake on 4 grams of shrooms. Just f-king pedaled myself right in. Dunked my head. Left the bike. And walked out back to land like I was a prehistoric tadpole evolving for the first time. I ruined that bike. But it was worth it. We were in a bar and talking about SX. When the Altoid BJ talk came up. After a few more drinks my wife and I went home and I was really disappointed to find out we were out of Altoids. I thought why not improvise, so I found some Listamint patches. They are a dissolving strip of Listamint. My wife proceeds to put them on my dick like paper mache. It felt good for a minute. Until it didn't. The night ended with my dick in the sink. Set of perfectly rectangle red marks on my penis. And worst of all, no BJ. So we never did that again. Back when M80s were legal, my friends and I were building a fort out in the woods and there was a tree in the way. So we strung up a bunch of M80s around the trunk and ran away. Needless to say, never again. No idea how we didn't die. M80. While drunk and slightly stoned with a group of friends, we decided to throw an empty 2L Coke bottle, lid screwed on, into our campfire. It sat there for 2 seconds then exploded. Blew up half the campfire. Sending red hot debris flying everywhere. Singed a few leg hairs off and I fell backwards out of my camp chair. Never doing that again. Edit. You guys have way more explosive stories than mine. Also, I'm enjoying all these camping stories. Brings back a load of memories. When I was a junior in high school, one day me and my friends were bored and had the bright idea to get some habanero peppers and see if we could eat them. I went first and ended up drinking half a gallon of milk, eating half a loaf of bread, and throwing it all up before the stinging went away. And so we never bought habanero peppers again. I was taking a dump at my school, just minding my own business, when some other person walked into the bathroom and sat down in the stall next to mine. Things were silent for a few minutes until I heard a whisper coming from the other stall. Hey, do you like boobs? What the? Oh. FCK it. Fine. I'll bite. Of course. I heard a splash that sounded off. Then the guy left his stall. Good, he said. Then you're gonna love this. The pungent odor of tea that was always prevalent in school bathrooms got slightly stronger while he washed his hands and left. I got finished with my business and opened the door to my stall. And on the wall before me was a magnificently drawn pair of DD titties drawn in the tile with pure tea. And then the principal walked in. Thankfully I was able to convince them that I didn't draw the art on the wall. However, I'm never taking a tea at school ever again. Plot twist. Your principal was the one setting you up. Threw a snowball across a road. Car came around the corner and it hit the windscreen. Car was a police car. I once drank a whole bottle of Baileys when I was about 14. Somehow got home. Got to bed. Fell asleep. Was sick in my sleep in my bed. Woke up to a sort of whipped cream mountain of Baileys and carrots. The smell was horrific. So I ended up adding to the pile almost as soon as I woke up. Never again Baileys. Did you go partying with old Greg? Did you drink Baileys out of a shoe? Had a few too many beers and decided I could stick the landing if I jumped the entire flight of stairs. Probably 10 total. Landed and immediately fell over to one side. Woke up with 2 very sprained ankles. Drank most a bottle of tequila at 11 AM while camping. Ended up naked walking along a gravel road in the middle of Pennsylvania. I got the strangest looks from people driving by. I can't imagine why. One time I tried an L with an XGF. And a watery tea jet landed in my balls. And I almost vomited. And so we never did it again. Yeah. Poo comes out of there. 4th of July. Playing around with those reloadable mortar tubes. If you put 2 projectiles in a tube at a time it mostly works. Adding a third does not. At least one of them will come out cockeyed and go off near ground level. Possibly after traveling distance normally safe for spectators in a random direction. If you set off the projectile upside down you get a cool jet of flame and then a shower of sparks. This places undue stress on the tube. The second one will blow out the base of the mortar. Not as bad as the first experiment at least. We weren't invited back. Curiously, the stated reason for not inviting us back was pouring gasoline on a pile of firecrackers and lighting it with a Roman candle. That one seemed perfectly fine to me. I ate a special brownie on a school trip in Washington, D.C. I shared some with my friend. She ended up passing out. I wasn't so lucky. It first hit me on the metro, where I proclaimed to my dean that I'm the fastest woman alive while pretending to run in front of the windows. We went to see a movie, and I got an enormous popcorn, Raisinets, and an icy. Next thing I remember is stuffing my face and having the sudden realization that I'm in the balcony, and scared of heights. Ended up crawling out of a movie theater and falling down some stairs before having the worst, most extended panic attack of my life. I refused to move for 3 hours and my entire class had to wait outside the movie theater for my dumbass to simmer down. I had to be carried back to the hotel. So yeah, no more brownies for me. Heroin. Second place. Taking acid at a house party. My house party. We didn't have a mortar for New Year's, so we made one out of a pizza box. My life flashed before my eyes when the firework didn't take off. Exploded about 20 feet away. And the crackling after effect crackled right next to my ear. Meaning I was literally inches from being hit in the head with a white hot report. Yeah. We never did that shit again. I tried to blow out a flaming metal marshmallow stick by bringing it up to my face and blowing it out. It did not go out. It made contact with my face. My flesh melted. What happened to your face, marshmallows? We did a drinking game on a LAN party. Every time someone would die, we had to take a shot of Jägermeister. Everyone ended up with 10 deaths. 2 people puking all night and another guy had to go to the hospital. We had a pool in the backyard growing up, so I often had friends over swimming. I kept asking my friends if they thought I could jump into the pool from the roof. It seemed clearly doable. One day I climbed up there and did it. I landed dead center in the deep end. And when I got out, all my friends were blown away. Then my dad came rushing out with a set of jumper cables and beat the living shit out of me in front of all my friends. And then he told all my friends to get off his property. It's the jumper cable guy. SX in the shower. Who knew that water was actually liquid sandpaper? We made a small noose to tie our friend's dick to a post when he was sleeping. Then we scared him so he would run from the post. What did he think when he woke up to you playing with his dick? Tried to grow pot. Put plant outside. Got high and saw a helicopter flying above our heads. Hey. Wanna see Transformers? I'll just give the TLDR. Wife. Met my GF at a bar. Left at 2:00 AM pissed drunk. We both drove like idiots. Raced past an undercover stakeout in a residential neighborhood. They said we blew their doors off. We both got arrested and went to jail together. Even though we eventually got married and are living happily ever after. We'll never do that again. Gary. I got drunk with my best friend and we watched a UFC fighter run on his TV. It was late at night and we had the TV loud. At the same time, we were yelling and cheering. Next thing we know, the cops are at the door saying they got a call about a violent fight occurring inside the house. And so we never did that again. You know. Until the following week. And then the week after that. Too. Our first child was an absolute f-king terror. And so we never did that again. Dot. Is something I wish a lot of people would say. Pulled, pinched, and punched my penis when I was about 12. It started feeling really good. Finally. I felt a sensation and some kind of white liquid came out of my penis that was slightly sticky. My penis began to shrink back to normal and I felt really tired after this. So I never did that again. Said no one ever.